Hi everyone, my name is Dame D.C. Cordova. I'm Accelerated. I am CEO of Accelerated Business Schools and the Money and You program, and I'm so happy to welcome you into this Google Hangout with our friend Anne DeVere, and we also have Barbara Wainwright, who is also a master in her own right, and we'll introduce her a little bit more later. But right now, what I like to do is I like to welcome you and really acknowledge you for showing up to this Google Hangout, whether you are live right now and you'll have an opportunity to ask live questions, or you are listening to the replay of this particular event. Now, one of the reasons why I chose to do this, and I know that today is a holiday in the American soil, and of course we really acknowledge all of our veterans and all of the families and of course all of my friends that never came back from horrible wars, and we thank them for their service, and we thank this whole population, people around the world that are mourning the loss of loved ones today. So thank you to all of you for your service. So one of the reasons that I'm having this event today is because I am going to be doing more Google Hangouts. And Google Hangouts are the latest things that are happening right now in technology to educate people. There are many reasons why this is happening. One of them is cost. I don't know if you have ever done what are called webinars or events online. And a lot of people wonder why people charge sometimes, where they are very, very expensive. There are a lot of technical costs, and also some of those particular places that the servers and the services that are provided are very expensive per month, hundreds and hundreds of US dollars. And so one of the things that Google did, they came up with this whole new way of being able to communicate online for free. And also one of the things that they're doing is they're really putting it high up on whenever somebody's searching for a particular subject, because you're going through their system, they put you really high up there. And so they are making it very enticing. So there are many people around the world who are catching on to this. Now, for those of you that have never met us, you know, Accelerated Business Schools, the Money and You program, has been around for over 35 years. One of our mentors, of course, is the great Buckminster Fuller. And Buckminster Fuller, if you don't know who he is, just Google him. And one of the things is that we learn very young that technology is going to make all the shifts in the world. So I have been into technology from very, very young. I mean, way back in the days. I had one of the first email addresses back in 1986. I had one of the first CompuServe addresses. I was doing texting, what they call SMSs, way before they were doing it here in the United States. I remember I was in Asia at the time. It was in the mid-90s when I saw a couple of kids doing something during the negotiations, and I said, "What are you guys doing?" And they were all embarrassed, and they were communicating to each other, and I said, "What the heck is that?" And I fell in love immediately with that. You know, nobody in the United States for another 5 years. And I thought, oh my God, sometimes we get so far behind. And so Google Hangouts is in that category. There's a lot of people that haven't discovered them yet. And one of the things that it can do for you is that it can really provide education for your customers and your clients. So a lot of times people think that Google Hangouts are just for people who are best-selling authors, who want to be best-selling authors, people who are into education, people who are providing certain services. As a matter of fact, there is a young girl, and I'll think of her name in a minute, and that she is an American girl. She's making over $1 million US a month showing Chinese girls how to put makeup on. She's doing it through Google Hangouts. And we're not supposed to be able to have Google in China, but you know, what can I tell you? She does it through Google Hangouts and through YouTube. Again, both of those platforms are not supposed to be in Asia, so I'm just wondering, but there's a lot of ways that people go around it. So what these young people do is they're using technology, and we must learn from them. So I welcome all of you, of course, that are coaches, that are teachers, that are trainers, that communicate to your networks, but I also want to welcome you for all those of you who are involved in completely what we can call traditional businesses. Of course, if you're in technology, you already know about these things. But then there could be people like, I went to Blog World, or now it has a new name, I'll think of it in a minute. And I like to get early to certain talks. And there was one man only in the front row, and I was kind of getting to the front row too. And I said, oh, hi, we want to be here early. Yes. I said, what do you do? And he says, well, I have a pool cleaning business. And my brain kind of melted a little bit, and I said, a pool cleaning business. And I said, do blogs, does technology really help you? And he says, absolutely. He says, ever since I started my blog, my business went through the roof. And I said, well, that is amazing. How do you use blogs? How do you use technology? How do you use YouTube and Google Hangouts? And he says, well, I educate all of my customers and my clients. There are many distinctions to cleaning pools. As a matter of fact, there are some very unhealthy ways of cleaning pools. And what I do with my potential customers and clients, I educate them on the best products, the best way of doing it, and they are now recommended me to their clients and to their friends. And I have little short snippets, and then I have longer educational pieces, and so people learn a lot about pools and about clean water and and about health. And I said, oh my God. I said, if I ever have a pool, I live right on the ocean, so I have the big pool. I said, if I ever have a pool, I'm going to look you up because I want to be educated. And it blew my mind. And then, of course, I started asking a lot of people at Blog World, what do you do, what do you do? And I was so surprised because I hadn't been there in 5 years. Number one, the age bracket had really shifted. The first time that I went there, I think in the year 2008, 2009, most of the people had been in their 20s, teenagers. Now, the average age was in their 40s, and there were quite a few people in the 50s and 60s. And then I met some people way past what could look like an age that people were interested in knowing about technology that were there, and they were learning about technology. So when I looked around in my network, and you know that I know many people around the world, I realized Ann DeVere is a Money and You graduate. She has been doing this type of work for many years. I remember her always being ahead of the game with marketing. I remember online marketing, other type of marketing. When she came to do Money and You, she was recommending certain things to me. And so then when I discovered that she was going through all these experiences and really learning about how to do Google Hangouts, how to do online digital TV programs, and training people how to have their own TV shows. Now again, I was so interested because it's like, who has TV shows except people like Oprah, and people who are educating others. And I have quite a few friends in the education technology that have it. But then I discovered that she's also training people just to teach people, to educate people how to do products and services. So she was perfect for our Money and You network, for our Accelerated Business School for Entrepreneurs. And you can learn more about us, as you know, at accelerated.com or moneyandyou.com. You can, Google me, or you can go to dccordova.com. But now I'm going to introduce you to a master. And one of the things that masters do, they always have big learning experiences. Anne has had lots of learning experiences, not only with technology, but with marketing and all the things. And then after a while, what happens with masters is they go through learning, and then they fly. Then they launch. Then they can teach us how to bypass all those learning experiences, how to make it easier, how to make it happier, how to make it more profitable. So what I'm going to do is that she's going to do a training program for you that's going to encompass many different things. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to come in towards the end, and not towards the end, but at the last 20 minutes or half an hour of this presentation. And I'm going to go ahead and ask her some questions, and then of course you have the opportunity also to ask questions, because it's the great thing about this system is that we get to interact. So Anne, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time on a holiday And I know that we're doing this so that the Malaysia, Singapore, the network in the Asia Pacific region can have an opportunity to participate. And there were quite a few people that came in, and even though it's an American holiday, but I want to thank you for taking the time. This is fun for me. This is like for me to educate my network, because I go to sleep and I wake up in the morning with the question constantly, how can I accelerate the education, the entrepreneurial education for my network and for my friends and for my friends of friends? How can I make it easier? This is a fantastic tool. Thus, we bring you Anne DeVere, who will introduce herself further.
Oh, thank you so much, DC. I'm thrilled to be here, and as a Money and You graduate, I have to say I learned so much at Money and You. As a matter of fact, I don't think I ever told you this, but when we hold our 3-day intensive, everything is experiential. We play all kinds of experiential games. Where did I learn that? Money and You. It's amazing what happens when we walk through the process of actually, doing things. So I have to thank Money and You for that, and people love our training. And again, I learned it from the masters. And welcome everybody, and I'm thrilled to have our Malaysian and Singapore people from Singapore. I've actually had the pleasure of being in Singapore. What an amazing place. And I'm working on Malaysia, so we're going to have to get there. Okay. I'm thrilled to be here, and as DC just said, that I have been actually working with television and training people for quite a few years, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we get going. But right now, I want to share with you a little bit more about why DC is so excited, because of all the wonderful things she said. TV is for everybody now. Web TV is for everybody. You can use it. If you're an expert in in anything, really, if you have a business, if you are a coach, if you're a consultant, if you've been conducting teleseminars, webinars, seminars, coaching and consulting calls, anything that you have been doing, you can actually turn it into your web TV show. And I'm going to tell you in a minute how to format so you can do that. And as a matter of fact, we have Barbara Wainwright here. Barbara has gone through the whole program that I'm going to be sharing with you right now. So she can kind of give you insights at different aspects of it. So if you have any questions, she will also help kind of answer some of the questions, because people have a different way of looking at web TV. Just the words TV just makes it so much bigger, and it is big. It's huge. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and go into a different scene where I'm going to share my my training modules with you. And let's see now, I just need to do one thing here for me so I can look a lot more. Wait, here I have to set up the Google Hangout. And one of the fancy things about this is that we get to do some pretty cool things, and I'm going to be teaching you that as well. So a little bit of technical things. There we go. Okay. Well, so we are at a point of no return. What's happening right now is there is a whole new world starting. You may have already heard that Google Hangouts and Web TV are really changing the world as we know it. They are literally changing every aspect of marketing as we know it. So here's the big question, what are you going to do? What will you do? Are you going to ride the wave, or are you going to get swept under? And in this case, I am not going to let you get swept under, because we're going to be sharing some awesome information, but you have to make that decision. It is, it's such a new era that we're stepping into. Even though Web TV has been around a couple of years, but right now technology has made it so easy for the average person to get in there and produce their own Web TV shows. And that's what you're going to be learning, So the first thing I want to do is make sure that you understand what Google Hangout really is. Basically, it's a broadcasting platform, just like any other broadcasting platform that you see with other TV networks. That's all it is. So think about it. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to be using it? Those are the questions we're going to be answering. A lot of people are catching on already, so you may have noticed some great things are going on out there. People are they're having their cooking shows, and like DC was saying, teaching people how to apply makeup. And bands are, you know, they're in their garages, broadcasting from their garages, going global and gathering fans globally. You know, so it makes it really easy. You want to see something else? The President of the United States and the First Lady are using Google Hangouts to connect with their fans, with their audience, not their audience, with their, with our population, to connect with their people in a country to get a message out. Okay, so it's so powerful and so well received, but so easy to use, and that's what this whole thing is about. That's why DC wanted me to share this knowledge with you. So bottom line is this, that you need to make a decision. On Google Hangout, you can use it like a talking head, like most people do that. They just get in front of their webcam and they look like that. You probably have seen a bunch of them. Or you can look at that like exactly like that. So it's the same platform, same broadcasting platform, and guess what? That is a production of our Turn Your Show into Cash from our last season. Does it look like a TV show? You betcha. Yes, it does. And so there's a lot of information I'm going to be sharing with you. You're going to know exactly how to do all this. And by the way, in the email that I sent you, I promised you that if you posted and you know, you commented, you know, first you had to show up, and if you commented, you're going to get a very special bonus, and I'm going to tell you in a minute what that is. But start asking questions, interacting with us. We want to know what's going on, so whenever you hear something you have a question about or a comment, please go ahead and let us know. And Barbara's actually going to be kind of monitoring the page and letting us know about it. So let's get to it. All right. So the other thing that's really important for you to know, that I really want you to understand, because Google Hangouts is a broadcasting platform like any other TV broadcasting platform, you actually have the choice. You can be broadcasting your show live. So if you like getting out there and having fun, you can do that right away. Get in there and interact with people, have all kinds of live trainings. You can do that. Or if you don't want to do that, you can actually broadcast pre-recorded, just like the TV network. So does it sound familiar now? Now, this gives you freedom to do what you like. If you have been putting off doing some things, you know, you can start doing them now. Enjoy yourself. Go to the country club. Take a few golf lessons, or maybe play around the golf that you haven't in a while, or tennis, or just sit by the pool, whatever you want to do. Or maybe you want to spend more time with your family. Have you been missing some of your kids' ball games? Well, there's an opportunity to catch up while your business is running, while your show is broadcasting. Or maybe you just want to go cruise the world, or just, you know, cover the globe. You can do that. You can actually be broadcasting your show globally, or again, just take a nice long vacation while your show is broadcasting. It's really totally up to you. This gives you a lot of freedom and some great tools. Now, I want you to understand the importance of this. Right now, every day, 89 million people are watching 1.2 billion videos. Some of those videos could be yours, you know, whether it's YouTube or Google Hangout, Facebook, mobile phones, or you know, the video blogs like the DC was talking about, and a whole tons of other broadcasting platforms that are available to you right now. As a matter of fact, here's something I want you to know. The information I'm sharing with you is so powerful that I actually had people contacting me from these mega broadcasting platforms. They have access to over 2 million people asking for the content. Why? Because there are more opportunities to get out there. There are more broadcasting channels going out than there are good content contributors. Does this sound fun? I hope so, because you all of a sudden become very, very important. This is the time where technology is like taking off and people are learning how to use it. People are learning how to have their own web TV show. And you can be right at the forefront, especially with the information I'm going to be sharing with you. As a matter of fact, some of the places where we're going to be putting the content, and we want you, is at the airport. You know how you have been sitting at the airport and you're watching those great interviews or educational shows? Well, until now, CNN had the monopoly. No more. We get to it. So think about it. Are you getting excited? I hope you are, because we want you. We definitely want you. So we didn't just start doing this, as DC said. We have been training the expert next door for many years, got them ready to get on television, to be interviewed, especially when something was breaking in the news on a particular topic. The people that we trained would get up there and they would be the go-to show host. They were listed as the ones to call when something breaks in the news. So you need to know how to speak, in sound bites, and just really deliver some great content. And that's the training that we're talking about. And you want to know where all those great videos got us? Well, they got us invited to be presenting at a Digital Hollywood conference. Now, this is where the TV people, the movie producers, this is where they go twice a year to find out what's going on in the digital world. Well, there are over 300 presenters, and we were invited to present there on Google Hangout. That's how powerful Google Hangout is right now. It's a huge part of what's going on out there. It's a big part of the digital broadcasting. And so that what we're teaching you really works, and has been tested. And I want to share some things with you. As a matter of fact, Mark Harris, we created a video for him for over 4 years ago. We did a simple interview. He put it on YouTube. He has been #1 or #2 on YouTube for about 4 years now. So the same things we're teaching you. Again, we didn't just start doing this. Everything I'm telling you has been tested. And if YouTube is not where you want to be, WebTV is not where you want to be, you can actually get on regular television. Kyriakos Zouras, he went through our two-day training. Next thing you know, he's all over television. People are looking for him to be a commentator. He's a business, consultant. He was very good at what he did. We don't have to teach him what to do. We just have to teach him how to use the technology and get himself out there. As a matter of fact, so you know that we really have scaled the training in such a way that the expert next door, that's you, can learn it really fast. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and play a video of Kyriakos' experience with us. Let's see. Which one is it? I'm going to go in there.
Hi, my name is Kyriakos Zouras, and I'm the best-selling author of How to Succeed When Everybody's Failing. Some people consider me an expert in business. Am I? I don't know. Here's what I do know, though. Access to experts is an absolute must for anyone who wants to be able to position themselves as an expert and take their business right to the top. It's very important, if you want to be successful these days, that you're separated from your competition. How do you do that? You do that by becoming an expert. How do you do that? You do that by joining Ann DeVere's program, Access to Experts. If you're afraid of being on camera, if you're thinking that you can't do this, I have to tell you, I watched her take a group of 12 people that had absolutely zero experience in front of the camera. Some were afraid, some were shut down, and she turned them into experts on camera. And she did it in 2 days. The entire take takes a few minutes afterwards. You're a professional. You come out and you've got video footage and you're ready to go. It's an unbelievable program. It's a must. If you want to separate yourself, if you want to become an expert instantly, if you want people to want to hire you, if you want to be on television, if you want to be so polished and so well trained on the camera that when you're invited on a television show to be a guest, they're going to want you to come back over and over and over again. Even if you've never had any experience whatsoever, this is the program I recommend. Ann DeVere is great. She's loving, she's caring, and she works through all the little pieces that you need to know to become an expert on camera. I highly recommend Ann DeVere. She's great. I love her. She's got a great staff. Jodina St. John is beautiful to work with. The entire crew. Simply amazing process. Don't waste any time playing around with who you're going to go or where you're going to go. Access to Experts is where you need to be if you want to make an impact in your business and put yourself on the top.
Now, by the way, the reason I played that, we're not offering the Access to Experts training right now. That's not what we're talking about. The reason I played that is I wanted you to know that we have cracked the code on how to get you looking and sounding great on camera. Okay, it's literally a 12-step process, and I'm going to be sharing those 12 steps with you so you'll know exactly what to do from start to finish. Are you getting excited? I hope so. So I don't know, we don't know each other that well, but I hope some of the information that I have shared has got you excited about paying close attention to the rest of the information I'm going to be sharing with you. And again, at the end of this, when DC comes back, we're going to be taking some questions, and so write them down, okay? Here we go. Now, let's go back into training. So this is the gold rush. Web TV is taking over everything. So you need to claim your title now as the go-to show host, because if you don't, somebody else will. So let's get to it. I want to understand what's keeping you from leveraging, using the #1 marketing tool. So write down your reasons. Think about your fears. What's standing in your way? I'm going to share with you 3 reasons that I get most of the time, and this is why we have based this whole program, on these 3 things, the huge, huge hurdles that people usually have to overcome, and they're really nothing. We turn them into tiny little pebbles, okay? So here we go. 1, are you afraid of looking or sounding bad or unprofessional on camera? Okay, if that's one of the things that's standing in the way of you jumping in front of the camera, write that down. Now, or do you think it's going to cost too much money to produce your TV show, or buy the equipment? Okay, if that's one of the concerns, write that down. Or do you have a challenge marketing with videos? You don't know how to market with videos. Okay, well, you already should be over that one because I just told you we need you. There are more broadcasting platforms out there than great content. So that last one should have been pretty much eliminated. So are you getting this? We're going to eliminate all of them. So what does it take to produce a show that's really content rich, and most importantly, to turn it into cash? Well, it takes the trifactor system. That's what this whole thing is based on. After years of training and working with experts, we have come up with a system that works. It works every time, and that's what I'm sharing with you right now. So the trifactor system is get ready, get on the set, get paid. So let me explain to you what it is, and I'm going to tell you each one of them, individually. So get ready is all about looking and sounding great on camera, preparing yourself, knowing what to say, and making the camera love you, okay? It's about you stepping into your celebrity self. So that's all about getting ready. That's all a part of getting ready. And get on the set is producing your video, okay? That's all it is. It's producing your videos. And get paid is turning your show into cash, monetizing your videos. So you have to have all 3 components for your show to be successful, because I'm guessing that you would want to have your web TV show, you want to get on TV, you want to create videos because you want to grow your business, right? So let's see what happens if you only do 2 out of the 3, okay? So what if you just get ready and you produce your videos, but you don't have a monetization plan? You don't have a plan of how you're going to turn it into cash. You don't know how you're going to get the sponsors for your show, or you're going to get affiliates for your show. You don't have a marketing channel. So I'm giving you some tips already. Are you catching on? Well, if you just get ready and you create your videos without a plan of how you're going to turn it into cash, you're going to be wasting a lot of time and money. Well, what happens if you get ready? You spend all that time getting ready and looking and sounding fabulous, know exactly what to say, and you go out there and get some clients. Well, a lot of you are doing that right now without videos, and it's working for you right now. But you know what's going to happen? Pretty soon you're going to be outdated because everybody's starting to use videos. For everything, they're using videos. Okay, so let's take a look at what happens if you produce videos and you get out there and start making money without taking time to get ready. And a lot of you are doing that right now. You know what? You're getting away with it. But pretty soon, you're going to be damaging your credibility. You already are. And you know what I'm talking about? You probably have seen some people out there where, the video doesn't look so good. They don't look very professional. So it takes away from their credibility, doesn't it? Okay, so this is why you need to do all 3 things. Get ready, get on the set, and get paid, and everything falls into place. Everything flows. So now we're going to go into the training. So grab your pens and pencils and pads or whatever you want to use. or you grab your mouse and start typing. So the very first thing you need to do, and by the way, these are the 12 modules that we walk our people through, okay? So the very first step is claiming your title. You have to decide, who do you want to be? What do you want your show to be on? You know, who has the title of the go-to expert in your industry? You know, if we're talking about, let's say, TV talk shows, everybody knows Oprah. She is the talk show queen on traditional TV, right? Well, who has the title on web TV? Nobody. It's wide open for the taking. So the first thing you need to do is decide what your title is. And by the way, a couple of these modules that I'm going to go diving deep into, that takes a lot of content. Otherwise, we don't really have time for me to go into every single one, but I will tell you a little bit about each one so you understand why it's necessary. But a couple of them I'm going to really show you how to use it. Okay, step 2, you need to step into your celebrity self. You need to see yourself. This is the internal transformation. It's about you seeing yourself as a show host, as a global leader. Okay, so step 3, it's all about blueprinting your show. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more because this is the one that really everybody needs to know about. So I'm going to give you a little bit more information on this. So you need to understand your authentic style. You know, who are you? How will people connect with you? Okay, there is a training in that, and I'm not going to dive in, with your style, but you're either a curator, a critic, or an educator. So, that's one of the 3. And formatting your show. Or you need to know if you're going to be a solo host, co-host, or a panelist. I'm going to tell you how to do that. I'll explain that a little bit in just a second. And you need to understand your most profitable product. You need to choose your most profitable product. What are you going to be showcasing on your show? What's going on? You need to plan way ahead so you can talk about those things on your show. And you need to understand who your most profitable audience is. You need to choose who your most profitable audience is. And then finally, you need to know who your ideal guest experts are, because if you have a show worthy of watching, okay, you have great content, and you have some very interesting guest experts, they're going to keep coming back and again, and you have to know who your audience is so you can make sure the content is relevant, right? That's what makes a great show. So this is a very, very, very important module. So I'm going to share 3 of these things, in this module, on step 3. So the first thing you need to decide really is, are you better off as a solo host, a co-host, or on a panel? Now, each one of them has their pros and cons. Solo host, you're the boss, and solo host, you're working on your own, the responsibility on you. The expenses are on you, and also you don't really have anybody helping you. So it could be a little bit difficult. Now, co-host, this one is the one that most people find it easiest to do because it's just one other person. It's easier to share, ideas. It's easier to share the cost of the show, and it's easier to, to kind of keep each other going because usually it's that, different personalities. So this is the one that I recommend you start with if you're just starting out. And there is a panel show, and this is the one where you have 3 or 4 or 6 people in the show having a panel discussion on a particular topic. Now, this could be really good if you're very busy going out there, but remember, now you're dealing with a bunch of different personalities. So, and you have to coordinate also the production time and all that. So if you're just starting out, I recommend you start with a co-host. It could be even a weekly co-host, okay? Very, very important. And now, this is the one that everybody asks a lot of questions. So I just wanted to give you an example of how to format a 30-minute show. Let's say it's a health and wellness show. It could be a business or whatever. Just giving you that example. You could start with a 1-minute introduction, and then you can do some, on-location interviews or in-studio interviews or pre-recorded interviews. And then you have a 30-second video tip, to go in between, or it can be something from your sponsors. Then you could have a product demonstration or some kind of an exercise. And then finally, there's another 30-second video tip. It's content rich. We don't do commercials anymore. People don't like to watch commercials, but they like video tips. So give a lot of great content yourself or from people that you're going to be bringing on your show. And you can always do a top 10 questions of the week. Everybody loves questions. Or you can be doing live strategy sessions like we're going to be doing with you in just a bit. Okay, and then you wrap it up with a 1 minute, what you talked about during the show, and maybe tell them a little bit more about the next show. So if you stick to this, and you notice I'm telling you exactly how to produce your own show. Get a co-host, and this is what you can do in 30 minutes. So one more thing I'm going to tell you. After this, you're going to find it so easy to identify your guest experts. So if you know what the format of your show is going to be, and you know what segments you're going to have in your show, and you know how you're going to choose your guest experts, you're going to be pretty set, aren't you? So I'm telling you, like, what, about 20 minutes into the program, you know a lot more than most people out there. So let's go a little bit further on identifying your ideal guest expert. So this is the one that everybody wants to know a lot about. So I figured I'd give you an example of something that everybody understands, because somehow all of us, either we have been married, we have, we know somebody who's getting married, we have helped somebody get married, whatever it is, usually everybody knows something about the wedding industry. So if a couple is getting married, who supports that couple? Okay, let's think about it. The couple is getting married in one day. Oops, hold on. There we go. I went the wrong way. Okay, so they have a wedding planner supporting them, right? And how about a videographer? They have a photographer and a jeweler. Can't forget the jeweler. That's where it all starts, right? Okay, well, let's take an invitation vendor. You got to get those guests in there. Limousine services, you got to arrive in style, don't you? And how about reception hall? You need a place to get all those guests, and a baker. You can't forget the cake, and can't forget the caterer. They go hand in hand. And of course, the florist. You got to have some beautiful flowers. And how about a bridal shop? Well, what's a bride without a beautiful wedding dress, right? You got to have that. And of course, a travel agency, because you got to go on that honeymoon. So do you see? In one day, if somebody in the wedding industry wanted to have their own web TV show, they could have all of these industry professionals coming back over and over again. And you notice I said industry professionals. There are many florists, many jewelers, many limousine services, many. So they can talk about the industry over and over again, have all these different experts. Do you see the possibilities here? All of a sudden it's doable, isn't it? I told you, we make it really simple and easy for people to know what to do. All right. So now the other thing you need to do, so step 4 is you need to create your message. Now in our program, we have found that there are 9 touch points. These are the 9 touch points where you actually connect with your audience in your message. Okay, there are 9 touch points, and I want to share with you 3 of them. The touch point number 1 is grab their attention. These are the most important ones that I'm sharing with you. Okay, this is usually the hook, the headline. When you're watching TV, you say, stay tuned if you want to know about blank, right? So this is the grabbing their attention. Touch point number 2 is shaking their confidence in what they're doing. So usually people have what you're offering. Chances are you're not selling anything that's unique. They usually know who to get it from or where to get it, even if they don't have it already. So this is where you want them wondering if they have made the best decision possible, or are they making the best decision possible. And you know why? Because we are not afraid of spending money. We're afraid of making a bad decision. And you want them wondering, are you the best choice? Maybe you are. Maybe you are the choice that they have to make to get the best, possible service or product. So you definitely want them thinking about it, okay? Touch point number 3 is building their confidence in you. Why should they trust you? I've been doing that since the beginning, and I will continue to do that, because you need to make an educated decision. When people come to you, they need to feel comfortable and confident, know that you're going to be able to help them. So you need to make sure you're building their confidence in you. There are all kinds of ways of doing it, okay? There are all kinds of ways. And touch point number 7, this is what I call the wild card. Roll in the testimonial. Kyriakis, that was a testimonial talking about it. Me showing you what Mark Harris had done. 4 years, top number 1, number 2 on YouTube. Us being invited to present at a digital Hollywood conference. These are all credibility builders, okay? I have testimonials thrown in there. So do you see so far where it makes it easier for you to say, maybe she does know what she's talking about. Maybe she can help me. So all of a sudden, you you don't have to protect yourself. You can make an educated decision. So there are, obviously there are 5 other touch points we can't, go into. But if you think about these 4, you're going to be way ahead of the game than most people. I can tell you that right now. So that's step 4. A lot to get ready, isn't it? Okay. Step 5 is writing your script. And writing the script, whether it's a 30-second commercial or a 60-minute show, you start with the hook. You have to grab their attention and have them wanting more. And the body, this is where you educate and gain trust, and call to action. What do you want them to do? You need to be clear, how can you help them get the results they want? What are the results you want? Okay, so you have to be very clear. Knowing this is key. And one of the things that I do want you to do is post, right? So I offered you the opportunity to get this $97 bonus, which you're going to love in just a second as soon as I show you what it is. I want you to post. So that's an action that I want you to take. So write your comments there. What do you like so far? What jumped out at you? What questions do you have? We're going to be answering some questions. So do you see? I'm giving you direct call to action. I'm telling you what to do because that's what I want you to do. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you like. I want to know what you're learning so I can make my content a lot more relevant next time I do it. So do you see this? It's helping both of us. And you always want to use that. Step number 6 is make the camera love you. You need to dress for success. Body language, feeling comfortable and confident is key. And vocals, being yourself, feeling comfortable, being in your natural voice. And there are, of course, all kinds of exercises for all of these. And, makeup. You don't have to go to a Hollywood makeup artist to look natural. There are all kinds of opportunities for you to do that. And by the way, the dress for success portion of it, you don't have to be dressed in a 3-piece suit. Be yourself. Be comfortable. The question you want to ask is, how does your audience expect you to look? So the example I love to give is like if a plumber shows up at your door wearing a 3-piece suit, what would you think? He's not ready to work, is it? Or if he is, he's going to be very costly because who can afford to wear 3-piece suits when they're working with a drain, right? So you have to look the part, feel comfortable yourself and look the way your audience would expect you to look. Now, step number 7 is learning how to shoot your video. So if you can see, like in what I've been doing is I've been going from one screen to another. Okay, this is part of it. I'm using some different kinds of tools. I'm using different kinds of broadcasting tools that are very easy and very affordable, by the way. Okay, so knowing how to shoot, your shot, framing your shot. Where should they be? Like I'm on the side, and I have over my shoulder, a frame where the information is. Okay, and a little while ago you saw me looking straight into the camera and I was centered. So how do you do all this? These are things you need to know. So broadcasting on Google Hangout, the technology, it's not complicated, but you need to know what to do. And of course, editing the videos, whether you do it yourself or you have a video editor, do it, you need to know how to instruct them. And by the way, there are a lot of free video editing tools right now, even built into Google Hangout and YouTube, by the way. YouTube has, it's kind of, it's not very sophisticated, but you can actually use it. So now, this is a bonus that I was talking to you about. Have you put some comments down there? We're going to be looking, and those of you who have, whether it's a comment or a question, you're going to be getting a bonus training. What is that? I'm going to show you how to have your home studio, set up your home studio for under $300. And that includes the broadcasting, that includes the webcam, that includes the headset, and backdrop, and lights. So you can literally set up your home studio starting with $300. And of course you can go really sophisticated, but this is a place where you can start. So those of you who have showed up, those of you who have registered and are making comments, you're going to be getting a bonus training on that. So how cool is that? Yes? All right. Barbara, are we getting some comments on that? Okay. We need to check. Yes, we are. Okay. So keep those coming because we're gonna go in just a minute. We're going to go into answering some of those questions. Okay, step number 8, your business growth calculator. This is really important because you know what? You're doing all this to grow your business. Your TV show is a business. I tell you, you know, every single TV show that's out there, they have a business plan. They know exactly how much money they're going to make. They know how much they're going to be paying the cast members. They know every single aspect of it before it goes anywhere, before they even shoot a pilot. So you need to look at your business, your show as a business, part of your business. It's a very powerful leveraging tool, but it is a money-making business. So, you know, you need to know your numbers. And in this case is that, okay, it's one thing to say you want to make $1 million. Everybody wants to make $1 million. Or another thing, you want to make $100,000 even. What do you need to do? How many leads do you need? How much should you charge? What should your profit margin be? So whether it's a product you're showcasing or whether it's you know, sponsorship packages you're putting together, you need to know your numbers of how you're going to make all this happen. And we even have this so fine-tuned that we have this tiny, small business growth calculator. You know, it's an Excel spreadsheet, but we have 7 numbers that are key. If you have these 7 numbers, you can go in there. There's all kinds of calculations, whether it's for sponsorship or for membership or products, so you know exactly what you're going to be showcasing on your show to get the results you're looking for. Remember, this is a business. You can't leave the business aspect of it out of it, okay? So next, step 9 is your marketing blueprint, okay? What are you going to do? How are you going to get maximum exposure for maximum profit? So there's social media marketing. Where you're going to put LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. What's the best place for you? You need to know. Like I always say, like I have never said anything with 147 characters in my life, and I'm not going to start now. So Twitter is a challenge for me. I like LinkedIn better. It's more my personality. So what's your personality? Find the one and really start with that one, because you don't have to do all of them. You can get confused doing all of them. It's too much. So repurposing the content, what all the different things you can do with your video. Once you're writing the content, it could be blog posts, you know, there's video posts, video blog posts, you know, there's all kinds of ways you can use the content, the video tips, everything that you do, you can be repurposing. And of course, you're going to be needing some help. So where do you get help to do all this stuff? It can be overwhelming. When they're producing a TV show, they don't have one person acting and directing and editing and marketing. No, there's somebody doing every aspect of that, right? So think of it as a business. If you're making money, then you need some additional help, right? So virtual assistants are very cost effective for literally for a few $100s a month. You can have somebody helping you, you know, different aspects of it. So there is a place to start. Okay, step number 10 is co-op marketing. Now, this is the one that actually I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it, because this is a very important one. So co-op marketing is identifying your sponsors, affiliates, and joint venture partners. Well, if you remember the wheel with your ideal guest experts, that's the same one you use here, because your ideal guest experts, the ones that are supporting your clients, because those are the people that are going to make sure your clients are successful. But those are the ones that want access to the same audience. Those are the ones that they're the ones who will support you. So do you see this? Okay, so once you have them on as a guest expert, you get to know them. You can have all kinds of joint venture opportunities with them. You can have all kinds of affiliate relationships with them, and sponsors. Now, this is where, you know, what do you say? How do you approach them? You know, what do you say to them? Well, this part is all about the relationship with them. Okay, it's the joint ventures. That's the most intimate relationship. This is somebody that you really know. And sponsors, you don't really have to know that well. Okay, think Nike sponsoring, being a sponsor at a stadium. They don't have to know the stadium owner to put the banner there to pay. So it depends on you. There's a whole lot to learn here, but I want you to know that once you know who your ideal guest experts are for your show, you also have an access to the people that are going to be your sponsors and joint venture partners. And step 11, we're doing pretty good, aren't we? Oh my goodness. Step 11 is multi-channel publicity. This is where you're going to decide how are you going to get yourself out there. There's all kinds of web PR software, all kinds of opportunities out there. You can use this mobile, the internet, the television, special networks, social networks, and videos, and radios, and newspapers. So knowing how to get out there, press releases, it's a huge way to get out there. Now, you need to know how to interact with them. This is where you want to know how to get the media to love you, not just to like you, okay? This is where they want to keep writing about you. So once you start putting information out there the way I'm suggesting, content-rich formula, you know, that right in front of you, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of content-rich information you can deliver. You could start with all kinds of information about some of the mistakes people make or some of the misconceptions there are. And there's all kinds of ways of getting information out there and having special events to deliver all that information, making a difference in people's lives. There's opportunities everywhere. And now, step number 12, number 12, my goodness, where are they? You're on the air. This is where you're already broadcasting. Your show is up, and you start implementing everything I'm showing you, everything I've been talking to you about. You are going to get out there. You're going to get noticed. You're going to be one of the pioneers of web TV. So there's a lot of great content here. So let's see. I think we covered so much already. What do we do here? Let's see now. I'm going to get back to, I think that we'll go to Barbara. Okay, Barbara, how are we doing there?
Awesome. We've got a couple of questions, I think 3 or 4 over here, so doing great. A great presentation, Ann. Thank you. It was like a trip back down memory lane looking at all the steps over again after having been through them one-on-one. And the great news about doing the training with you, Ann, is that you do get to a whole week to go through each module. And believe me, I really feel that you need that time to incorporate and think about and strategize about all the information that you learned. So thorough and so good. So would you like me to go grab some of these questions?
Yeah, but before we go, we didn't really talk about Barbara Wainwright. She is the CEO of Wainwright Global. I mean, tell us, you have coached over 5,000, you have certified over 5,000 coaches. So tell us about that, Barbara.
Sure. I have trained and certified over 5,000 coaches, and it's been a real honor and a privilege to do that. The training that we have is systematized so that you go and you learn a system of coaching, and that's the great thing with Ann as well, is she has a system of getting you ready, getting you paid, getting you to show up and look great on camera. And one of the things that I know is I was a reluctant show host. I was really not wanting to be on the air, and I had a lot of encouragement from associates of mine saying, you really need to do this. It's just like Ann's telling you, this is important. You need to get out there. You need to have your face out there. You need to get some videos out there. Videos are working for you 24/7, and you're only one person. You can only, right? So I heard it enough, and I said, okay, and I bought a camera. And it wasn't much longer after that. You know, it's once you take that first step, everything sort of falls into place. And just like you were saying, you know, you're here, you're starting to train people, the media's coming, people are inviting you places, you've got distribution. So it's the same thing. I bought the camera. And the next thing I know, I met Ann, and I'm excited about being trained, and I went through the whole program, and I learned so much. I don't know if you have my before and after, Ann, but if you could see my before and you see how I'm presenting now, you would. There's a huge difference because I learned a lot, and I feel really blessed to have been through the training and, of course, won the show.
Yeah. No, one point I want to make here is that you can see how natural and comfortable Barbara is on camera, and I talk fast. I'm very excited. When I get excited, I move fast. And everybody has their own style. Like Barbara is like happy and relaxed and comfortable. You can see that. And there is a way to actually connect with the camera. With some of the exercises we have, literally breaks through the fears. Again, I learned a lot of this with all the training I got at Money and You. So Those of you who are Money and You graduates, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Start bringing some of the experiential exercises. Figure out ways where people can experience right there, you know, on camera, because you can interact with them live, remember? So we're going to be doing that. And you know what, I'm thinking maybe this is a good time to talk about how we have structured the program, so it will actually help people too. So let me, you know what, I'm going to go back into the PowerPoint mode, and I'm going to go ahead and tell. So this is how everything is a training opportunity, by the way. Okay, everything is a training opportunity. You can structure your training the way I'm doing. You know, it's like you teach people and show them how you're doing. Share your secrets with people, and the ones who resonate, they will show up. So the way we have structured this program is actually like watching The Apprentice. Okay, you know, you watch the Apprentice, where each week they get, you know, an episode. There is a task they have to complete. They're in 2 different groups, and they get together as a group work. You know, work it and get it done, right? Well, we have done the same thing. So to make sure everybody gets the success that they're supposed to and have the breakthroughs and get the feedback, we have modeled it after that. As a matter of fact, when I watched The Apprentice, I was like, you know, that's amazing. I'm getting a lot of great content there, but I'd love to be in that room when they are having those mastermind sessions and when they're making those phone calls and getting those $100,000 donations. What do they say? I wanted to know that. So I decided to basically factor this entire program after that. So the whole thing is with the tri-factor system, you get the same tools as the cast members or the selected show hosts. And by the way, some of you can actually be on cast itself. There's an opportunity for that too. You know, you have to audition for it. You have to let us know. But there is definitely an opportunity for that. So what you do is you get the same tools and the training as the cast members, so you can follow along and do what they do. Okay. Basically, you have the strategies and the campaigns, everything that you're able to watch right then and there. You watch this whole thing happen right before your eyes. You know, the way it's structured, like Barbara was saying, you know, there's 1 week. The new module is released every Thursday. There's video training, and there's all kinds of tools, whatever tools you need, whether it's learning how to script, it's templates, everything that you need is released on, you know, that Thursday. So you have from Thursday until the following Tuesday to actually complete the work on your own as best you can. On Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, the 10, you know, cast members, the selected show hosts, they get in their 2 mastermind groups on Google Hangouts, and they actually have a mastermind session. Each one talks about what they've done, the work that they've done for that module, and they get feedback from the other ones. If you've been in a mastermind group, you know how important that is. Well, guess what? The best way to learn something is to do it yourself, right? Well, the second best way to learn to do something is by watching somebody else do it step by step. So as an audience member participant, you get to watch the mastermind as it's going on. 2 masterminds the entire time. You can actually watch and learn from them. You can participate, you know, you can even form your own mastermind group outside of it, but you can watch what they're doing. You can adopt the challenges that you know that they're using, you know, all the statistics that they're using, everything all the information they're using. You can use all those yourself. You can follow one expert, or you can take, you know, great ideas from all of them. It's up to you. It's all there for the taking. And then between 2 o'clock Pacific time to 3 o'clock Pacific time, we have an expert panel discussion. I bring in 2 or 3 experts on that particular module, on that particular topic, and we have like a talk show discussing that particular topic. You know, everything you want to know about it, we talk about it for 1 hour. This is where the cast members as well as the audience members participant watch this happening from a private, you know, membership area. So, you know, you're able to not only work on your own and then watch the mastermind going on, you're able to tweak your content, and then now you're watching the experts decide, you know, talk about it, and you're able to fine-tune it even more. And then finally, at 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we have the cast members coming into the expert panel hangout. And now we go into a laser strategy session. Each one of the cast members asks a question, and they are laser coached or guided by the experts. So this is another opportunity for you to hear how the experts are guiding. Now, if you've been at seminars and you have seen somebody step up on stage and they do hot seats, you know how powerful that is to watch the transformation, where you get to watch all that. Every single week you watch 10 people go through that on a particular topic. Very, very powerful way to do this. And then from that Thursday until, from that Tuesday until the following Thursday, you have 2 more days to tweak it. But here's what it is. If you are going through all these step by step and you're able to adjust your, what you have and tweak what you have, you are done. You are done. The whole thing is completed, and it's just a wonderful way to move forward. And anyways, this is the way it works, basically. So let me tell you more about that. And those of you who are interested in maybe participating in this, because on June 3rd, we're starting our season. 12 weeks of training. So basically we go through factor 1, the celebrity mindset, and if you were to go out there and do this on your own, it would be like anywhere from $500 to $1,000 easily. Okay, and by the way, any of you that have some fears about stepping in front of the camera, post your comments there, because right after this I'm going to go ahead and do one-on-one strategy sessions, or answer some of the questions you have. So your magnetic self, there's media training. So if you were to go out there and really take some media training, you will pay anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 easily. And your script, learning how to take your knowledge and turn it into a script so you can use over and over again. Again, if you want to take some scripting lessons, you would pay anywhere from $1,000 to $20,000 if you want to have somebody else do it for you. Then factor 2 is get on the set. This is setting up your home studio. If you had somebody else do it for you, you pay anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. But I'm going to show you how to do it for less than $300, in equipment. Remember, there's a special training coming up, right? You can start from there, and of course, producing your video depends if you want to go have somebody else do it for you, $2,000 to $10,000, depending on the video. But you're going to learn how to do it yourself. Once you have the studio set up, you can be broadcasting live. You can be doing all of it, or you will know how to guide it for a fraction of the cost to get it done. And of course, broadcasting your video. And like DC was saying before, there's so many different ways of doing it, and there's so much out there that's so confusing. Well, you can easily spend anywhere from $1,500 to $8,000. That's a lot of money for each episode. No wonder most people aren't even thinking about it. And factor 3, of course, this is where turning your interview into cash. Putting a business plan together for your show, it would cost anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000, depending on the business consultant you're sitting with. You get the whole thing, the training, everything in there. And of course, there's multi-channel publicity, getting yourself out there. If you were to hire a publicist to learn how to do this, or have them do it for you, you'd be paying anywhere from $500 to $2,000 a month. Those of you who have thought about it and have talked with a publicist, you know exactly what it is. And there's, of course, the co-op marketing. That's priceless. Being able to be a part of, a huge group like Money and You is amazing. Well, all of this, if you just put it all together, it's like minimum, it will cost you at least $12,000. But the program that we've put together, because we need you. We need you. We want to market with you. We want to put you in front of the millions of people. We said you can have the best broadcasting system, the broadcasting channels, but there's no content. It's not going to do any good. It's like, who would want to watch a blank TV station, right? No, nobody. So because we need you, we're actually basically, it's production costs for us. Okay, this whole thing is only $497. So if any of you have a question about this or any of it, I'm happy to answer. If it resonates with you, jump on, because we're looking for you. And if it doesn't, there's some great content here, and I will be sending you the information about setting up your home studio, and so you have all that going on. So I'm going to switch over to the camera, and we're going to switch to Barbara and get some questions answered. So Barbara, what do we have there? Let's get some good questions answered.
All right. Well, let's see.
DC has come back. DC, there you are.
All right, DC. All right. The first question that I see here is from Lori, and she says, "I'm just joining now, as the previous appointment took longer than expected. Glad to be here." Lori, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Be sure to watch the replay.
Yeah, right. That's right. You get to watch the replay. From JC, she asks, if we are doing this in our home or office, how do you set up the background like you have in right now, Anne? How do you set your background up like that?
Well, actually, the backdrop I have, I'm in front of a green screen, and we'll teach you, all this. I can, we'll teach you. It's basically a green screen, and the technology that I'm using, it's very inexpensive, and I could give you the name of it, but you need some training on it. It's called XSplit, and it's basically a broadcaster's, platform here. It's a tool that you can use to broadcast any show from anywhere. It's not easy to show you right now exactly what it is, but you can do it. Trust me, you can do it, because XSplit is only like $25 every 3 months, and just knowing how to use it is the key, and that's actually one of the things we do teach. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
It looks so professional. It's amazing. Just like a news station or where it's really, really great. Okay, the next question. If you're a curator doing a talk show, what kind of testimonial would make sense? If you're a curator doing a talk show, what kind of testimonial would make sense?
If you're a curator, by the way, we have echo coming back from you, Barbara.
I am going to mute myself.
Okay, so the curator you're referring to is one of the styles, the 3 styles, the distinct styles that I've identified: a curator, educator, and a critic. So the curator is the one who actually gathers information, like the museum curator. So like when you want to think about it, if you want to go to the art museum, you know exactly what you're going to see there, right? Or a museum of natural history, you know exactly what you're going to see there. So curator, you need to have testimonials where people are talking about you have the best of the best information. You are the go-to person for whatever information it is that you're delivering. So what is it that you do? Maybe I could, this way I can make it more specific for you. But that's the way you want to go. You want people to say, if you want information on this topic, that's exactly where you go.
I'd like to say something, but you'll have to put yourself on mute, both of you, otherwise we reverberate. I'm getting really smart. Anyway, I was just going to say that one of the things that I find about Anne that is really magnificent is because of her marketing background, and this is really important. A lot of you, because you are students of the business school and the Money and You program, and for those of you that receive this message but you're not part of our network, we have magnificent experts in our network. One of them is our web expert, Dwayne Jaworski, that has taught us so much about marketing in our own organization. And one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that to be able to combine web expertise and marketing is very rare. And this is what Anne has. So whenever she and I get into conversations, she brings in all her marketing experience with the web technology, which is completely different. And this is where she's very special, and I can't believe, by the way, that was US $497. I mean, it is so inexpensive. You are not going to find that anywhere, and thank you. I know that you're providing that to my network. That is a gift. That is a total gift. And I know that, I have made it a little easier because we're not receiving, any commissions, because this is part of it. If you're going to go through people's network, you have to give people commissions, which is very appropriate. But she's able to afford this and to pay for this because she needs experts, and her income-generating activities are coming from sponsors and some other very big things. And she's given us that prize because she's a Money and You graduate, and given us the opportunity for us to really get together. We are cooperating because she and I have a much larger vision. As many of you know, I am about transforming. Our team is about transforming educational systems around the world and eradicate poverty and hunger. And, I was just with Lynn Twist on Thursday here in San Diego. We had our first Pachamama luncheon. And some of you can go to my Facebook, DC Cordova Friends, and see some pictures about it. And there was a great new movement called uptous.org that you all must sign up for. And we really need to move quickly. We need to have experts. We need to have educators that, whether you are in the car business, in the tire business, in the clothing business, not only can we talk about your products and services, but we also need to influence many people, because the world is in deep trouble. I don't want to scare you or anything, but you know, you can make all the money in the world, but 10 or 20 years from now, I don't know if it's really going to make a difference. We really need to be doing both things, contributing to humanity and also doing our businesses. And the wealthier that you get, and if you are a graduate of my program, you know that I'm going to be on you for you to do good and for you to get to a place of such amazing wealth that you never have to work again, but your life will be about contribution. This is what Anne is about. She really is about that. And so this incredibly low price is to support you in getting your products and services and your wealth up. All of us are committed to that, and I really thank you. So this is where I really want to validate this particular piece. You can't have this kind of expertise when she says, well, I need to answer, you know, I need to have a conversation with you. What she will do with her patterns of thinking, and remember, Money and You graduates, business school graduates, I'm constantly talking about this, that when you're around a master, you want to learn their patterns of thinking. How do they think? How do they think? So she can't answer that question for just anyone. She needs to be able to talk to you. So each and every one of you will have that timing. Like when we talk, I'm a little bit of an enigma for most people because I'm international, I'm Hispanic, I work with and adore my Asians and Chinese people. You know, so it's like they go, okay, it's like working with smoke, you know, and air. But then we began to kind of narrow it down, and this is what we're working on as we're developing the Money and You show and the Business School show. And this is the process that I'm going through. So graduates, you know that whenever I'm going through a process, I share it with you. And these wonderful experts also give you tremendous discounts to support you with this. So please, she's going to start on June 3rd. And so USA time, that would be June 4th, Asian time. And we've been talking about the hours because she does that at a certain time during the day. So you'll have to get up pretty early, but not that early. It won't be in the middle of the night for you. And so one of the things that is really important is for you to understand that marketing is key. So certain people are just going to teach you about how to set up your studio, how to use the beautiful screens that she has behind, how to do your makeup, how to do maybe some marketing, but not at the level that Anne can. And I really wanted to share about that.
Thank you, DC. And yes, we do want to make sure that we have a whole bunch of Money and You graduates on the Money and You show. Okay, so we're putting together an amazing show, so we want you on it. And yeah, okay, so let's go. I know there's more training that we need to do, right? And let's see. Come on, Barbara. There's another.
Okay, there's some really great questions here. One of these questions is it possible to track the demographics of the people who are watching the show?
Yes, there are all kinds of tools to do that, and one of them is being able to, as people are coming on your show, there's all kinds of contests that you can do, there's all kinds of information that you can put there, and have them answer. It would be a long question because there's too many tools right now. You know how television stations, you know, the TV networks, they know exactly what people are watching. Well, the same things are being used for web TV. And by the way, this is really important point. Right now, web TV is not regulated. Pretty soon it will be. That's how powerful it is. Because all the major networks are bringing their content to web TV. Like we have NBC, CBS, you know, in the U.S. Well, they're national channels. They're local channels, and they have them in many different cities, but they don't go global until they put their content on the web. So right away, right now, you have the ability to go toe-to-toe against the giants. And the other thing that's really important to keep in mind right now is that, big wheels turn slow. So all the big corporations, they have all this red tape they have to go through to decide, well, what show we're going to do and who's going to be the host and they're going through all this. It's going to take them a year to decide what they're going to do. Well, you can pick up your camera and get out there and do, because there's so many different kinds of shows that you can put on. And that's one of the things actually that's really fun of what you can do, because as a small business owner, you're a lot more flexible, Again, big wheels turn slow, and they're actually trying to get more, so they're interacting one-on-one. A lot of the bigger companies. So you see what's happening out there. Anyways, let's go back to the question. But yeah, and there are ways to follow. There are just too many tools for me to go into right now, and it all depends on where and how you're using it. And
Great answer. Great answer. I'll just add one more thing, and that is that YouTube, since these videos do end up on YouTube, which is one of the questions, is do these videos then get posted on YouTube? Yes, they do. And the great news is there's a lot of tracking information that you can follow on YouTube itself, because everybody knows Google Analytics are some of the best. All right. The next question we have is from from Joan. Let's see. Are the shows done in a studio, or are they only using the camera on the computer?
Well, the answer is both. So you can literally start with one webcam in your home studio. You can actually use the webcam on the go. Like actually some of the bigger shows do that. And you can choose to go into the studio. Like for example, the image that I showed you at the beginning of this presentation, or at the end as well, with me and two other people, it's a local studio. It's a small studio that I go there just because it's easier to get people. And by the way, they actually are not charging a lot, because you go in there with your own equipment. You're just renting the space. You can do that. Or a lot of people, what they're doing is that I know that they have different business buildings where you can go share an office, right? So you get 2 or 3 people together, you set up a studio. A lot of people are doing that. It's always set up. You just go in there and, it's set up like 2 chairs and maybe 3 chairs and a desk, and there you go. You have a studio set up. So yes, the answer is yes. And by the way, you can get very fancy as well. You can have a whole production crew, and that you can also learn. Bottom line here is that once you know how to do this, you can hire a production company or do it yourself. You become the person in charge. You become the TV show producer, and this is why it's so valuable. Because the things that you're learning here, if you were to go to hire a production company, you wouldn't know how to do all this. But once you learn how to do this, then you know exactly who to hire and what to ask and what to do. So this information is like really, we are literally sharing with you. Oh, by the way, one thing I left out, my husband has been in television for over 30 years. From directing the 6 o'clock news to working with some of the top infomercial producers and directors in New York. He's an Emmy Award-winning video editor. So the information I'm sharing with you is not only the business and the web information, but it's also traditional television information. Okay, so you have the best of both worlds right here.
May I say something, Ann?
Absolutely, Dizzy.
I was just going to say, and for those of you who are in San Diego, we're very blessed because in our network, we have a couple of very experienced video people, and one of the things, we have Eric Maury, and then we also have Reggie Haley, and they are part of our crew in the Money and You network, and they have a lot of experience in the technical aspect, and as I share with you, I would love for you to connect with them because they're here in Southern California. So we have direct access to people that can help you, that would not, charge you a lot, but they can really support you with certain things. And so our network, the Money and You network, and I'm sure in Malaysia, JC, is right here having conversations with you. JC Wee of Globe Success She will know people. We have people that are video people, and with what they learn with you and with their support. So in our network, we have people that can support you. But the thing is about getting educated on the basics is when you can ask the right questions. This is the thing. This is what you're going to learn from Ann. You're going to learn the basics. And by the way, I just wanted to say, too, that I know that the offer that you're making is not just for Money and You and business school graduates, but all those people coming in that are not Money and You business school graduates are going to benefit from the offer to the network. So this is not just for the graduates. This offer is open to the public, and I am going to pass the word out to other people so that they can be included on that. And that's, you know, another conversation we'll have about being part of a network. And I am one of the experts that Ann brings in. I'm the one that speaks to them about business models, about licensing, about bringing, you know, becoming global and some of the blocks that they have. And I just wanted to say it really quickly. I immediately got a text from a friend watching that the reason why that young girl makes so much money in China is because she's going to the Chinese YouTube. But she was smart enough to go through the Chinese YouTube, which is called Youku. And so here we are in a network of people that immediately supports us. And of course, duh, I should have known that. And she's doing it legally. But of course, a bunch of people also get YouTube in China, but the general population, so you can go into foreign countries with productions that you have created here and get into their platform where they have, you know, 1.4 billion people, and they have that massive young people that love, it's all translated, and these people are, you know, eating it up. A bunch of teenage Chinese girls that want to learn from a young American girl how to do anything. And so it just happens to be makeup. They also have others with hair. They have others how to dance. And so now when you hear about this, so once you film this, this is going to go, you can film a Google Hangout that goes into YouTube. And remember, this is the same company. Google has YouTube, and it has, you know, the search engine optimization and Google+. So when you sign up for a Google+ account, you automatically get your 2 accounts automatically. You get all those channels. And then you're going to learn from the masters that Ann will bring about search engine optimization, the wording that you put up there. So I'm so excited because I'm a student, and I'm going to be a student with you. I just had to share that.
Oh, thank you. And I'm very excited. Well, by the way, if you're going to be learning how to put together your business plan, Dame D.C. Cordova is one of the experts that's going to be there on that business growth. You know, like she was just saying, she is going to talk to you about putting together a business plan. She's going to talk to you about licensing. What is it that you can do, all the different things that you can do to put together your business plan. And by the way, I am going to be learning. I'm going to be taking lots of notes when she's talking too. This is the beauty of this. Because of the platform, we have the best of the best coming together to support each other, you know. So we will be learning from you because you have the expertise to teach. You have the expertise. As a matter of fact, Barbara was a student in our last season 1, and this is season 2 starting, and she's actually going to be in this one showing people how to take their knowledge and turn it into an actual a business, coaching business, because she's already certified 5,000. She's already doing it. So that's going to be one of the strategies on how you can take your knowledge and turn it into a coaching business and incorporate it with your show. Because she's launching her show. She's going to be on GVN TV. So all of this is the beauty of it. Once you are a student, you learn how to use the tools. Then you actually become one of the experts that can transform the world with us, because those are the people that we're attracting right now. Some of the most brilliant people, and you are here. It's not by accident. That's for sure. And I, you know, the people that, you know, she attracts is just amazing. I'm just blown away every time with the people that she's around, and how loved she is and respected she is. Anyway,
Yes.
so,
Yes, so true.
we have more training to do, don't we?
Right, we have two more questions at this point, and one of them is ask a great question. Is this a live training, or can I do this from anywhere in the world online?
The answer is yes to both. Okay. Well, here's the thing. On Thursdays, our Thursdays, if you're in Asia, will be your Fridays. You get the pre-recorded module release, so you can study on your own. A lot of it, by the way, it's designed for the busy professional. So most of the modules you can take maybe an hour to two hours, and you can actually do it while you're watching the video and just open the tools and just go through it. A couple of the modules, it could take you a little bit longer, like for example the scripting module. Some people can do it in 3 hours, and some people can do it in 3 days because of their their style. So whatever it is, but you have until from Thursday to the following Tuesday to do it on your own. So that's the pre-recorded training. On Tuesday, it's live. You watched a live mastermind session, and you watched a live expert panel discussion, and also the spotlights, the hot seats. Now, all of this is recorded, so you can actually go back and watch every recording of Tuesday. So all of this is available, to you at any time, and at any time. So again, the answer is both. There is a live training, so you can ask questions as well, and there's, of course, the pre-recorded, and then there is a recording of the live training.
All right, thanks, Ann. There's one more question we have. It's another great question. How do we get sponsors for the show? How do you typically work with sponsors?
Well, let's see. This is a whole training in itself. So the easy way is that to start with, if you are just starting with your show, you first need a plan. Just like if you go to the bank and say you want to borrow some money, you need to have a business plan, right? You need to have a business plan saying, here's what I'm doing, this is how much money I'm going to be making, this is the plan, this is how I'm going to be doing it, this is how I'm going to be marketing it, right? So you have all that. And remember, we're doing that, in a module. So you're going to have a whole business plan put together. Now, once you have the plan put together, then you can actually approach some of the ideal guest experts for your show. Remember, these are the people who are there to support your audience. Your audience needs to be supported by them to be successful, right? So these are the same people who want to get access to them. Now, if you approach them, and DC, let me ask you, DC, I'm going to be having access to 50,000, new leads every single month. Can I send you some of those leads, DC?
Yes, please.
There you go. The answer is yes every time. So basically, once you have a plan, you approach them and say, here's what I'm doing, here's who I'm marketing to, here's who's going to be watching, and here are my projections. Would you like to support me? Now, here's the other thing, too. If you're just starting, you may even start off with in-kind sponsorship. Now, what that is that, you could have a production company, basically, if you're let's say you're a business consultant or marketer, you can have a production company produce your videos for you. Instead of you paying them, you talk about them on your website, or in your show. You put their logos different places. So there's in-kind sponsorship. So when you're starting out, instead of exchanging money, you can actually exchange services. And as you grow, your audience grows, then people will be happy to pay you, because I know that for example, we have Super Bowl here in the States, and each commercial is millions of dollars for 30 seconds because it's worth it. They get a huge audience. People talk about it. It's worth it to them, and that's the same thing happens. But if you have a plan of who you're going to attract, when you're going to attract, and one of the things that you can actually do is, here's a great tip, offer to interview them on your show, and have them pay for the editing of the video. So if you have somebody on your show, you're interviewing them for 3 minutes, Now they have an interview of them being interviewed on a TV show. It's very valuable. It elevates their expert status, builds credibility, so it's very valuable. Now you can ask them to pay for the editing of the show, now so it doesn't cost you any money, and they have a video that they can put on their website, which is good for them, and it's good for you because now you get more exposure, because everybody that goes to their website is also going to see you. So these are just like simple ways to get started, and believe me, it can get very sophisticated, but this is a way that you can definitely get started right away, and there are many more examples like that.
In many ways, actually, sponsorship is like cross-marketing, and then you get to a place where it's easier to do money. And because you have so much of it, then people will just pay for it, and it's very, very important to know that it's like you're taking steps, and you'll make some mistakes, and then you'll learn from it. And this is part of the process. And when you belong to a network like Money and You and the business school, and you know each other, then it becomes easier for you to support each other, and then it's really accelerated. One of the challenges that a lot of people have that cannot accelerate the process is because they're not in a good network. You know, they get charged for everything. They don't have the camaraderie that we have in Money and You. That, you know, we are on a mission. You know, we're on a mission. And Money and You graduates are very clear that not only are they out there making money, but they are on purpose. And I know that Ann is on purpose. And I know for sure Barbara is on purpose. She and I have met many, many times at CEO Space, and are like, you know, we are another set of sisters that are working on some beautiful things to make this a better world. So this is ultimate leverage. How we teach in Money and You, this is leverage, and it will sit there. This Google Hangout will be sitting there for a long time, and I was just laughing because I was turning on lights because, you know, I live right on the ocean, so the lighting is all changing, and I know that this is going to be one of my last few ones that you will be seeing from my beautiful living room, because I'm going to get really sophisticated, have an amazing background. I will be like Barbara is.
Thank you.
So right now I still get to enjoy my living room, and but you know, after a while you get very sophisticated, so you can see that I'm a newbie also in this area, and we learn from masters.
Oh, that's so true. And we have another comment from Joan, and she says she has a radio show that she'd like to turn into a web TV show. So that's really exciting.
Yes, absolutely. Let me go back on camera here. Yes, if you have a radio show, this will be so easy because you already have content, you already have interviews, and actually a lot of radio stations now, even though they remain radio, they put cameras in the station. So it's a very easy transition. So good for you. What is the topic? What do you talk about on your show?
We'll wait and see what she replies.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and post the link for, let's see now. I'm going to put it in the chat, Barbara, to send people to. Excuse me. So if you can just post that on the website, this way people know where to go. You're muted.
Thanks, I got it, and it's posted.
So we don't have any more questions? Are we good?
Yeah, lots of comments, and there's a lot of gratitude saying thank you so much for all the content, and it was a lot of great information and that kind of thing. So thanks, Ann. It's so true. Every time I'm with you, I learn so much, and the same with you, DC. Both of you are just amazing mentors and much appreciated.
Thank you, Barbara. So I want to thank everyone, and thank you for taking time out for you to do this for us. And I really, really thank everyone around the world. We are all global entrepreneurs. We're here to make this a better world. Please remember to continue supporting each other, talk to each other, do a little mastermind if you need to with your friends right now. Tell them about this. You're going to be able to get a replay. I'm going to put it up on my Facebook. For those of you that follow me on Facebook, I'm going to put the link as soon as, I think, Ann, is it the same link that we use to come in for us to share with our friends? How do we let people know about this broadcast?
Well, actually, we can send out another email. As far as the people, and I will send you the link also, DC, to send out. The link that we just posted just below, it's a special page that's going to go to where they can go all the way down to the bottom and actually get registered for the only for $4.97. So that's a special link that doesn't go to the main one where everybody else goes. And we will be sending you also, all of you that have posted comments, be on the lookout, because we're going to contact you and we're going to send you the information how to set up your studios, like for under $300, the webcam, the lights, and the backdrop and all that you'll be needing to. So special training just for you for showing up and interacting and supporting us. We're thrilled to have you. So thank you for that.
Thank you. So what I want to do is I want to be able to share for them on my, we'll do a mailing, and we will also put it up on Facebook and social media on my different platforms so that you can send your friends to it and have a little mastermind with friends and just say, what would be the best way for me to go ahead and have a television show, have Google Hangouts? What would be the best thing? And then as you come in and you join the training, then you have some distinctions and feedback. I'm just cheating a little bit here because I know that Ann is going to want you to do some market research. So the more prepared that you are as you come into masterminds like this, the better that Ann and the other experts, including myself, can support you. So just do a little bit of research. What are you really, really good at? And and it's like me right now. Everybody is really empowering me to go into the Hispanic market. That is like a huge market. I'm one of the leaders in the industry, one of the elders now. And one of the things that I'm looking at is really opening up Google Hangouts for the Hispanic market. And then, of course, I'll take you all with me, all of you, because that is a whole market that we can really support in learning all these wonderful tools. So thank you, everyone. Aloha. Have a beautiful week. And thank you very much. And I wish you all a fantastic life. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you.
Aloha. I love that.